spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories, officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
It's Pink Friday 2021, and here's a message from one of our survivors.
Hello, I'm Robin Roberts, and I am happy to join the American Cancer Society in the fight against breast cancer. As a breast cancer survivor and proud Mississippi native, I'm honored to support Pink Friday, a fundraiser for breast cancer awareness. We all have a part to play in this fight, and by working together, one day we are determined to find a cure for breast cancer. Get your tickets now to support this wonderful event.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together we can be the change.
A.D. Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
Well, I got it. I got it.
Of course I got it.
I got it right after work.
That's right. I got the COVID-19 vaccine.
Because self-care.
I got it because I wanted to get back to my normal.
I was one of the first ones that got it. And now, I'm helping others get theirs.
So let's get it together. Sign up and get your vaccine today, and let's stop COVID in its tracks. Visit IGotItMS.com.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories, officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and for all those who's listening and watching it from around the world. And we are now live from the corner of Dalton and Lynch Street. It's the show where we take you inside the game before the game begins. It's the Pregame. With your host, Charles Bishop and Neely. So get ready, because we pregame harder than the other show's party. It's the Pregame.
Welcome into the Pregame Show here on Championship Saturday. Brothers, coming to you live from Birmingham, Alabama. It is the SWAC Championship winner. Our Jack State Lady Tigers getting ready to take on the Alabama State Ladies. Bishop, Neely, what's going on, my brother?
Man, cannot complain. I see you in Beham, baby, at the arena. You are boots on the ground, Chuck.
I am boots on the ground today, man. As we take a look around a little bit as the preparations are starting to take shape now. The teams, I saw the buses coming in a little bit earlier. The Alabama State's band is in the background warming up a little bit, but I tell you what, man, looking forward to today. It has been one heck of a tournament, and our ladies have fought hard to get here to this championship Saturday.
You know, man, ad nauseum. You know, the show was not going to be complete without me quoting Chuck Bishop as saying ad nauseum. Ad nauseum, we have talked about the 3 seasons of college basketball. You have non-conference, you have conference, you have the tournament. And this tournament so far has really lived up to the hype in being a 3rd season. Everything else was out the window. These games have been much tougher. Although the Lady Tigers have prevailed, it's been a lot of fights, a lot of scrapping, a lot of battles, a lot of things going counterculture to what was the regular season or even the non-conference season. So it's lived up to the hype, man.
It's lived up to the hype, and I tell you what, our ladies, they have shown poise, they've shown composure. They've really been tested. We talked about they've been tested in the 2 weeks leading up to the tournament. They've been tested here in the tournament, but they have come through with flying colors just to get here to Saturday. It has been tremendous in terms of watching them fight through adversity to get here.
You know, man, I'm so used to the sonic boom of the South, man. Tell Alabama State they got to practice on their own time. They sound horrible. They sound horrible.
Yeah, I'm getting the full throat of the Alabama State marching party band. But I tell you what,
it wouldn't be a show if we didn't mention full throat. If Chuck Bishop did say a full throat reference.
Exactly, man. When you take a look at what our ladies were able to do against the Southern Jaguars to get here to Saturday, Amisha Williams-Holiday, man, 20 points, 13 rebounds, 18 points in the second half of that game. I kept saying on the broadcast with Rob J the other day, star players do star things at star times. I tell you what, she really came through the other day to propel us to victory over the Southern Lady Jaguars.
Well, let's rewind before we talk about the Southern, and we got to talk about UAPB game. You know, because we haven't had since the tournament started. And when you look at that opening matchup against UAPB, which was their third time facing each other, we knew it was going to be a tough battle. And tough it was. You know, those final scores are not indicative of how close the game really was at times. UAPB really brought it. Coach Dawn Thornton really brought her team there ready to play and was looking for that upset. That was a tough game and tough matchup in and of itself. And I really think prepared the Tigers for what was to come against the Lady Jags of Southern. Got to unmute yourself.
No doubt about it. They really, it was a tough game. I mean, we talk about UAPB, Zay Green, as one of the premier players in this conference. When you take a look at how we were able to persevere through their runs and get through UAPB, because I thought that 1-8 seed, I kept saying that is a team that really matched up really well with us. They came in with the proverbial chip on their shoulder. They played us hard, but we were able to get the victory.
You know, Chuck, you look like you were on the patented Spike Lee roller cam. You know, all of his movies known for this shot where the camera's rolling and, you know, the lead character is standing on the dolly. You look like Spike Lee, 40 Acres and a Mule. Shout out. You were nailing the Spike Lee roller shot.
Hey, that was the look I was going for, man. That was the look I was going for. Because I get away from the sounds of warming up of the Alabama State Band, man. But you know,
hey man, you ain't got to look out for them. They weren't warming up. They're playing their best. That's what they got. That's how they sound.
Yeah, I tell you what, man, they came in right as we were kicking off the show. But you know, that UAPB team, they really, I thought it really messed up well. But our defense really turned it on. Great big scoring in that game. I believe we outscored them from the bench like 36-5, something to that effect. But I tell you what, we get contributions from 1 through 8, maybe 9 at times in terms of what the rotation has looked like coming into the game.
You know, Chuck, I just love picking this from me live. I bet you, I got $100 bet when you try to get away from the noise. I bet you won't go to the bathroom. I bet you won't take the show into the arena bathroom and go in the stall. I bet you won't do it. It'll be like the quiet, but I bet you won't do it.
I bet you I'll pull a Neely. I bet you I will.
I got a Sally Mookie's gift card with your name on it. If you go in the restroom and do the show from a stall.
Only you, brother. Only you. Only you. and only it can happen right as we go live. So, you know, but it is what it is. It is the beauty of a live show. And I'm doing the Spike Lee little rolling camera here as I make my way back to the media room, man. But, you know, just in terms of what Jackson State's ladies have been able to do, getting ready to come to this championship Saturday, Neely, it's been nothing short of impressive, like I mentioned, against Southern. Really tested Southern up 7 points at one point in the second half of that ball game, and our ladies fought back and did what they had to do. Great job.
You know, there's been 2 times that we were not leading in the first quarter. There has been 1 time that we were not leading at halftime, and we finally got to a game where we were down in the third. You know, the Lady Tigers were down in the third quarter. And, you know, you can follow the social media commenters, those experts who can coach better than Tamika Reed, and everybody was talking about what we should be doing. And, you know, forget that we're 19-0 at this point, but they just know better than she knows. But, you know, it was Aaron Rodgers' time. It was RELAX. It was relax. And the Lady Tigers did what they do best, work the ball from the outside in to Amisha Williams-Holiday. Got their 2 bigs fouled out of the game. And really that's what just opened it up right then, because now there are no more challengers on the floor. And like you said, man, you know, stars make star plays. I like to say big money players make big money shots. And she was just phenomenal. I think at halftime, but then finished the game with plus 20 and as well as double-digit rebounds. So a phenomenal second half to keep the Lady Tigers alive, you know, surviving advance is the name of tournament.
Yeah, surviving advance is the name of the tournament. And I believe at halftime yesterday, only 2 field goal attempts going into halftime yesterday. But you talk about really turning it on in the second half. And when I say turning it on,
defensively. For all the offensive firepower that this Jackson State basketball team has, it was the defense that really turned things up. Number one defense in the SWAC. They limited Southern yesterday to only 5 points in the fourth quarter, outscored them 20-5.
Yeah, I think Southern at one point, man, watching Tyler Carr from HBCU Game Day do the ESPN broadcast. At one point, the Dags had gone almost 4 minutes with a field goal. And that was almost not even misses. That was about 3.5 minutes of not even getting an attempt off because the defense was so smothering. So here we are, a record-breaking season, regular season conference championships, having achieved that by going 18-0, and now 2 wins in tournament play over UAPB, over the Southern Jaguars, which puts them at 20 conference wins. And today, one way that number 21, 21st win in conference this season will give them an undefeated season, a SWAC regular season conference championship, and a tournament championship. But it's one of those situations, Chuck. They performed so well that they got seeding right now in the NCAA's regardless.
Yeah, no doubt. And we turn our attention to the opponent. It's only apropos that it would be the Alabama State Hornets. Of course, we saw them last year in the SWAC championship game, beat them by 1, 67-66, I believe, was the final score. Came right down to the end. Jackson State has played them one other time earlier this season, earlier back in January, where they really had their way against them back in January. But like you mentioned, it's 3 seasons, and we are in that 3rd season. It's tournament time. They're playing their best ball. They are led by Yana Emanuel. She is an all-SWAC performer, one of those players who can score from the outside, slash and get to the lane, get in the lane and score a little bit. But she had a double-double in their semifinal matchup, 18 points and 10 rebounds to lead them here. And then you also have Shemaya Ward, who is a great matchup for Amisha Williams-Holiday when you talk about her length and her size inside the paint.
I just want to point out to the listening audience out there, your excellent diatribe on statistics from the opposing team, but to bring you back down to earth, you did not live up to challenge and go into the restroom and find the empty stall broadcast for us. So I am taking back the Sally Mookie's gift. The parlay failed. You did not go in sequential order, so that's how parlays work. So you can go into the restroom now, but it doesn't matter because it didn't hit you didn't hit the parlay, Chuck. That's off the tape. But back on the seriousness of this opportunity against Alabama State, Chuck, here's the upside. We've beaten everybody in the SWAC. We've beaten everybody in the SWAC twice, and 2 teams we beat 3 times. So the Lady Tigers have the upper hand in this game. They have the confidence, they have the momentum, we have the roster, we have the depth, we have the Cody and women's basketball coach of the year. But when it comes down to the tournaments, you don't have to be the better team to advance. You have to be the better team for that game. And so it's going to be interesting to see what adjustments Alabama State makes from its 2 regular season games, coming off of being in the finals within the tournament last year. Just throw everything except the kitchen sink at the Lady Tigers, because you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. At this point, you got to try something to get over the hump. So I'm looking for what are going to be those different nuances. You can't just solely rely on your dominant players to get you there, because, Chuck, they hadn't gotten it done. You've lost to the Lady Tigers twice, even without. Yeah. So you got to find, and I tell you a good example of it. When we played UAPB at home for the final game, they had a player who had averaged only 4 points a game erupt for 25 points.
Yeah, Kale Walker.
I'm looking on that roster to see for Alabama State who's going to do something more than normal, who's going to bring to the table a greater output than what they typically bring, because that's what's going to take. You have to play perfect ball to beat the Lady Tigers.
And you make a great point. Who is going to be that X factor? We know you're going to get production from Amisha Williams-Holiday. You know you're going to get production from Alabama standpoint from Yana Emanuel. But who is going to be the X factor player today for Jackson State? Will it be Jock? Will it be Tima awesome tournament. 13 points against UAPB. And she had a fine performance the other night in terms of the minutes. Who is going to be that X factor player who really steps up when you need for them to step up?
For us, I look for Lamir Percent. And, she played well for us against Southern. And for whatever reason or reason, she sat most of the third quarter, if not all of it. But she had a pretty strong first half and fourth quarter and was really just as responsible, if not more responsible than Amisha, in stretching that floor defensively and making some offensive plays that really got us to that 8-9 and that we ended up holding on to. And so, all eyes are going to be on Amisha. Yeah. All eyes are going to be on Rogan. So let's see what LaMiracle does today.
Yeah, you make a great point about LaMiracle Sims, and I asked Coach Timmy Reed post-game about her offense in the first half. It really sustained Jackson State against Southern, really kept it close, and they were able to take off in the second half, but it was her weak side rebounding. It was her tenacity with regards to getting those second chance points that I always say are so big with regards to this Jackson State team. You always look statistically, they're going to out-rebound you, and those second chance points, those second opportunities to keep possessions alive that Jackson State has come to really wear teams down with. Key in the first half yesterday against Southern.
Chuck, there are two possessions that come to mind. Amisha got her own rebound 3 times, and on the third attempt, not only got the offensive rebound, made the basket, and got fouled from that foul. And then you had another possession where the Lady Tigers probably got 4 rebounds, offensive rebounds, before scoring. And that just breaks the back of the opponent, that when you can force a team to miss, but they get their own rebound, force them to miss, but they get their own rebound, force them to miss, but they get their own rebound. And then they shoot and make. And now what went from a 30-second possession has become a 60 to 90-second possession. And it just takes the steam out of your sails. Because all of that effort on defense, those same legs are worn out when it comes to the offensive possession.
Hello?
I'm froze. Well, Chuck looks froze on my end.
No, Tim, you're still there. Y'all are still live. Yeah, it looks like we're a little bit of a Wi-Fi issue there.
Yeah, well, you resolved it. We're back. You're back.
Okay, awesome. So, we talked a little bit about Jackson State to really keep this offense sustained and whatnot. So, I tell you what, I'm looking forward to today. It's going to be a fun one, Neely. Deja Rogan hasn't quite gotten her shot off yet. I'm looking for a huge game today for Deja Rogan.
Chuck, the way you sat down, I thought you were going to take off that jacket, hang it in the closet, take off the hard bottom shoes and put on the sneakers and go Mr. Rogers of the SWAC and just welcome to the neighborhood. You just really look like you were coming in, man, to go Mr. Rogers on the broadcast. And, hey, friends. It's just a beautiful day in the neighborhood, Chuck.
Hey, you make do it when you have to make do with it, buddy.
Hey, Chuck. I know we're here talking about this upcoming championship game with the Lady Tigers, but I do think it prudent that we rewind and talk about that final game of the Tigers, led by head coach Wayne Brent, who had announced his retirement, his final game in a 54-50 loss to Texas Southern, one of the better teams in the SWAC, regardless of tournament seeding, but just phenomenal length, phenomenal coaching staff. And I think for the Tigers to have to adjust the game plan, because it's one thing, Chuck, here's something that happens in sports for you to win a championship. For you to win a championship in sports in a long season, you have to beat somebody that you're not supposed to beat. It's just that simple. If you win all the games you're supposed to win, you're not going to get over the hump. At some point, you got to go against somebody who on paper is better than you and get a victory, find a way to get a victory over them. And I think that with us being outmanned in length and in roster against Texas Southern, the game plan that Coach Brent and Coach Burke and Dr. Dason Swelly Dixon put together, we almost got over that hump, Chuck. And I think it was all in all, a great season, great final season, finishing 9-9. Some of the key players were out this season. Got to the tournament as a 7 seed and went up against Texas Southern in that opening round. Just fell a little short, but a nothing to hang the head low. A well-fought game.
Yeah, nothing to hang your head about in that regards. And I think if you talk to Coach Brand, he would tell you Southern team was going to be a matchup issue for them. Although we had to beat them earlier in the season, their length, their post players are just sizable. We saw that in the semifinal matchup that they had, where they were just a little bit just too big for them. So, it was a tough, hard-fought game. You take your hats off to Coach Wayne Brent for the game plan that they were able to come up with for the career that he has had at Jackson State, for the career that he's had in Jacksonville schools for the state of Mississippi. Can't say enough. He has etched his name in stone in terms of what you were talking about with regards to great coaches in the state of Mississippi with regards to basketball.
I tell you what, Chuck, the SWAC is not the NFL, and men's basketball at Jackson State are not the Miami Dolphins. But if you look at tanking, had we ended up the 8th seed, you're probably still in this tournament. This is all about matchups at this point. But we won that final game going 9-9, which I'm glad we won. That final home game for Coach Wayne Brent's career. But just that one game was the slight difference between either making the tournament or coming into 8th seed. And seeding is about matchups and your opponent on the other side of that bracket. And for us having to face that longer team that we just don't stack up to physically as far as height in the paint and that kind of advantage, we were in a tough spot seeding wise. But man, almost got it done. 4-point loss, and probably the last 5 or 4 minutes of that game could have gone either way. And matter of fact, it looked like the Tigers of Jackson State were going to win it.
Yeah, I tell you what, just losing Jonas James, having that poor general out there in the court toward the end, it really seemed to affect us down the stretch. But nonetheless, they fought, they scrapped hard to get back to the 500 record going into the tournament, and you take your hats off to that. And now Jackson State turns the page. They're ready to be a basketball coach on this Sunday. That announcement will be live streamed Sports Network.
Yeah, be live on the JXU Sports Network and taking place from Ballroom A of the Student Center on Monday morning. This goes into spring break week, so most of the student body will be out, but the media and public are, invited to be there, encouraged to be there to welcome in the next head coach for men's basketball, who we can announce is.
I was waiting on it.
I lost the signal. They didn't hear me. I lost the signal.
Exactly. So, but I tell you what, man, here's what I've gotten the whole time in Birmingham. Where's Neely? Oh, my goodness.
Hey, Scotty, as a captain, just let Jordan do what he does, man. Just, you're a hell of a player. Scotty, you're a hell of a player. You're going to be one of the 50 greatest, 75 greatest, 100 greatest. But you got to let Jordan do what Jordan did. Man, just look. It's okay, Chuck. It's okay. You're on team with Jordan. Give Jordan the ball.
So what do we have going on in Jackson tonight,
man? Man, tonight is the I Believe party. Coach Prime is doing a special event here in Jackson to celebrate the Tigers, the football Tigers, undefeated conference championship, as well as the SWAC championship, and just a great season for the program and city. So the entire city is invited 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the convention, red carpet. 9 p.m. until is the party. Keisha Cole will be performing. Bobby Rush will be performing. A lot of stars are in town, friends of Coach Prime's, to attend this event. A lot of the football players, said nay to spring break and are remaining in this weekend so they can attend the event. So it's going to be a star-studded event, man, and the decorations, the decor is coming together down there. Going to be first class.
Oh, man, that's awesome to hear when you talk about a lot of things going on tonight with regards to Jackson State football. Looking forward to it, excited about it. And you going with the tucks and tails tonight, man?
No, not the tucks and tails. Although I have been known to overhear faint whispers of Leopold when I walk in the room. So I am expecting Leopold will be in the building.
Oh man, that's awesome. I tell you, turn our attention back to our women's basketball team here on Championship Saturday. 1:30 tip coming live from our tour. And everything that can be said has been said, man. Out here, go get this ring. I'm looking forward to it. This team has been special. To watch them persevere and come back against Southern yesterday and watch them in the ring, coach them up in the huddle, to urging them on from the sideline. Passionate as always, but really getting gritty and grimy with this team. It's going to be
Yeah, man, it's been a phenomenal season, and it's about to be capped off. What I predict, normally you ask me for my prediction, but I'm going to jump the gun and give it. What I predict will be Lady Tigers tournament championship. I believe that they are going to be victorious over Alabama State. But let's just rewind and look back to this season. First team in SWAC basketball, men or women, to go 18-0. Now have won the first two games in the tournament, put them at 20-0 conference. And this 21st game will give them the championship for this year, a regular season championship as well as a tourney championship, facing the team that we faced last year for the crown. So it's going to be a tough fought, but I believe the Lady Tigers have the coaching staff. Tamika Reed is Cody, Coach of the Year in SWAC women's play. I believe we have the depth in the game plan. And I believe we have Charles, the stat man Bishop, there calling the game with Rob J on the Tiger Sports Network. I believe we're going to be victorious, man.
I believe we're going to be victorious. I'm going to throw the curveball. Give me an X-Factor player you think is going to step up for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Ja Covington.
That's a good one. I love watching Ja Covington out there on the court. Floor general is what I call her. When she comes out there, always gives us great minutes. She can get to the rim. She can knock down open jumpers. So looking forward to see what Ja Covington can do. That actually was going to be my X-Factor player, along with Rebecca Sims. She really had a tremendous in terms of rebounding. A little bit of help down there with Shamaya Ward. So all that you can get from Daisy Woodard down in the post, Ward down in the post, to help out with the rebounding, it's going to go a long way.
Now, Chuck, just remember, when you hustling and you copying off my paper, off my test, write your own name. Don't write my name. It's okay to copy my answer. Don't copy my name. The teacher that got our exam, there's two needles up there because you done copied everything I said.
Touche, brother, touche.
Now, good stuff, man. It has been a great basketball season. Everybody, tried to just peg the pregame show as a football and football-only show. When we said all along we're going to be here for all Tiger sports and supporting Ashley Robinson, our athletic director, his staff, and just Tiger sports across the board. And so, we've been doing these live pregame on the Saturdays and some Mondays when they were home games all season long, man. And I think it's been a wonderful boost for the platform, for the brand of JSU Athletics. Great to have you there with Rob J getting ready to call this final one. So hope everybody can tune in to the Tiger Sports Network, radio broadcast, internet broadcast, ESPN broadcast, YouTube shows, this fine Tiger Sports.
No doubt about it, man. I tell you what, no perfect way to end it than right there. Let's go get this ring today. Let's go add another one, add another banner there.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Well, for Bishop and Neely, the pregame show, we're on the Black College Sports Network. See you on the other side.